Today has been a very nice day so far in that somebody finally needed my help, and I've needed a lot of help since I moved here and had many friends come in to help me, whether or not it's with a flat tire or a truck problem or even the well I'm trying to drill. A lot of the community has helped me out, or watching Lady, my dog. So I've been really appreciative, but being part of a community, I wanted to give back. I want to be helpful. I feel like I am useful. I just want it to materialize. So today, someone I know, an acquaintance named, I'll leave their name out, needed to move one of their vehicles and get it stored somewhere, and I have a lot of acres here, and I had offered before to help out, and the vehicle also needed some work, so given that I am a shade tree mechanic, I also wanted to help get the vehicle running, but she needed that vehicle moved ASAP. It was kind of urgent, and so she found me in Vanga, which is the local coffee shop, and asked for help, and I was happy to help her out. And they moved the car here just a few hours ago, and we got it put somewhere, and it was just kind of a very nice feeling of giving back to the community, but directly to a person. I think a lot of times we think of community service as this kind of ambiguous gesture, or more like hours served helping the community. And I'm not saying that I'm against community service, but sometimes when I've done it before, it's felt very disconnected, and this was very connected. I was directly helping the person who needed it, and it happened because I had talked to that person and offered the assistance in the first place. So it was a really nice thing to do. And then a few hours later, someone else messaged me and said they needed help with the flat tire. So I drove over there and dropped off an air compressor. They were gone, but I had the equipment that could help them out. And it just makes me think about, if we all knew each other and were intimate on that level in a community, how much nicer it would be to live in said community. And that's what I've enjoyed so much so far by living here, is that people have helped me out and also accepted help from me, trusted me to show up or provide something, and that felt really good to do that today. Besides that, I started to unload my trailer, which was a utility trailer. It has a stove on it. It had a kegerator, a washing machine, and a work table. So that's been sitting on that trailer since I believe October. And finally, because we had to move it to get that person's car situated, I took the opportunity to take it to the campsite where that I've developed and move this stuff off so that I can finally have a workbench to work on different projects and just get that stuff off the trailer, because I need that trailer for transporting other things like hog fence for my pigs, specifically my garden, so that I can keep my hogs out. But that was also nice to do. I still feel like I'm tired from 2 days ago of setting those fence posts. It didn't feel like a lot of work, but I did back-to-back 2 hard manual labor days, and it just feels silly saying that I'm still tired from Friday, but I do feel just kind of low energy from that. Or I don't know. I'm not big into astrology, but I don't know. Maybe the moon is doing something. So anyway, I haven't been super motivated today. I've just been trying to, be helpful with those two people. And I get so overwhelmed looking at everything that I have to do here that often I get paralysis analysis and don't start anything, which I hate. I do not like that about myself. It was really nice having friends here in the past where we could develop some momentum, and I felt a little more accountable to get things done when people were here. So alone, it's really easy to kind of take a lot of walks and, kind of hit a project a little bit here and a little bit there. But that's going to need to change if I want to have a good garden this year and get this campsite cleaned up and start to figure out a place that I want to build a more permanent residence. Because right now I'm staying in my camper just over there, and I have another camper right here. So that's going to need to change. It's a little too dumpy right now. I was almost hesitant on bringing that other car over here for that friend because I didn't want to add to the junkyard look, but we've got it tucked away right next to one of my other vehicles, so they're not all mismatched lying around. But I think that I'm getting there. I mean, I moved my work table, as I said, today, so that'll be useful to start setting up tools and other things on. It's going to be under the little shade structure I built, so that's a 10 by 12 on the roof, 8 by 10 on the posts. So that 8-foot work table fit in perfectly right there. And these are all these little things that I do help start the next project. So once I got the shade structure up, then I can put the work table, and then I can put tools there, and then I can fix things that I need to fix instead of trying to fix things on the sofa or a picnic table. I can actually have a proper workbench to do so. Same thing with the well. Once I get the well going, it'll mean I can water my garden during the summer and produce food. It means I can not have to go to the grocery store and pick up water, so I'll be saving money and time and wear and tear on the vehicles. So there's some of these word I was looking for. All these some of these little projects are catalysts to greater development of this project. So really the next thing I need to do is get that garden finished, because I have all my starts. They're all ready to go. But if I don't get them planted, they're going to get root bound in those containers, and I don't want that to be a problem for their growth later on. Also, the pigs need a lot of water, and they will need more water once the summer hits, and the wallow pit needs to be filled up more often. But we'll get there. We're getting there. I did catch some rain yesterday off of my shade structure. Just a little bit. It was probably, I'd say maybe 5 to 10 gallons. It was only 0.1 inches of rain, so we didn't get that much. So that's okay. So it was a good little test to see that running and see the water flowing. So April, I have the goals are to get the well dug, finish the garden, get all those plants in. Also to figure out where I want to put a bigger structure, because I need more rainwater catchment, and I also want to have a carport for my vehicles. So I have a couple classic trucks that I like to keep under cover if possible, so I need to find a space for that. Let me actually bring up that list of what else. I think it's all on my phone. So definitely have to work hard this month, and it's really important because it will get too hot to work most of the day come May, June, July, August. So April is a really good month. Right now it's perfect temperature for working. It's like 65, 70. But as I said, I've just been a little bit low energy, which is frustrating when the weather's good. So I did unload the trailer, and tried to clean up a little bit. But this is, homesteading alone is tough. There's a reason why people don't do it and a reason why I don't recommend it. I told myself I wouldn't homestead again alone, and here we are, because I didn't find the right person to join me on this endeavor, which is fine. I'm not too worried about that right now. I think that it's more important for me right now to be in touch with myself and my spirituality and the universe and the land than to seek out a partner. I think that if I were to do that, it would be forced, and I don't want that. So it's hard doing it alone, but I would much rather be doing it alone than be doing it with the wrong person. And I have faith that something will transpire at some point in the future. And it's just, I think, I really don't recommend doing it alone. As I said, when I had people here, when I had my friend Walt and Elodie, we were getting things done and it was fun. And if we weren't working on a project, we were, at the hot springs, we were riding motorcycles or, doing fun things. And I think a lot of times when you're alone and you're working, it's like the work's not too much fun, and all the solo activities aren't as fun as they could be with other people. I'm not a hermit. I'm not the hermit type. For hermits, yeah, doing everything alone, great. That's fine if that's what you like to do. But I really think most of us are social creatures, and if you pigeonhole yourself into a bunch of solo activities, you'll be resentful at the project or give up and move on quickly, losing a lot of equity in whatever you've done to get there. So if you are considering homesteading alone, just take that into consideration, that things are a lot more fun with other people. You could be digging a hole with a buddy and it's going to be great. Or you can make it fun. It's not always fun. You can make it fun. And in alone time, being okay, it's really important to be okay alone, in my opinion, but it's not where we as a human species really thrive. I think there's a reason why we've been tribal communities and for so long, and had towns and villages, and the whole solo, doing it alone, independence ridden mentality is not good in the long run. As I said, there's some people that are hermits and they could do that, but I don't think most people are. I thought I could do it alone 10 years ago when I had my first run of homesteading in North Carolina. And I left after 2 years. I started a free-range duck business and shut it down within a year. And I moved to Asheville, it was almost less than 2 years after I moved to that property. So, I think I thought I could find someone in Asheville, and I didn't. And I'm not really, looking right now. We don't have a big population here in Terlingua, so I'm not out dating. I'm really just getting to know the community and the local people here, which has been great. I feel so blessed to have found this place and made friends here that I can call on, that can call on me. I don't think I've ever said I feel blessed before this year, before this move. So that's saying a lot. That's not a common phrase for me. So anyway, it's a beautiful day. It was very windy last night. I got hailed on my motorcycle while coming to check on my plants. I went out, I was going to go see some music, and it was getting a little windy. I saw some clouds, and it starts raining, but the raindrops are a little hard, and I noticed on the ground that it's hailing. And all my plants, I have maybe 75 to 100 starts that were just outside, uncovered. So I gunned it back on my motorcycle. I don't wear a helmet out here because I'm on these little dirt roads and I love the wind in my hair. And the little pieces of hail start nailing my forehead and my cheeks while I'm riding my motorcycle out. And I'm just hoping that the hail hadn't hit yet at my place, because the rain and the hail, the wind moves everything around here so quickly. It could be hailing 100 feet over there and sunny 200 feet over there. So I get back. The plants are fine, thank God. One of my solar panels, though, which I'd been testing on my RV, had flown off, though, and smashed the glass. So not sure what to do about that. But the plants were fine. I brought them inside and covered them up because it was going to get around 40 degrees last night. And we're April 6th is today. So April 5th was yesterday. And we had the hail and all that wind and the cold temp. That, as I said, the nighttime temp dropped to, I mean, they said it was around 38, 39. I would like to get a little weather station here to actually see what the weather is on my property compared to wherever the weather station is for Terralingua. So yes, yesterday was a bit stressful, but but those plants are safe, and that was really important to me because I have varieties that you cannot buy in the store in regards to the melon and the tomato and the cucumbers. These, you can't buy Parisian pickling cucumber starts anywhere around me. Maybe somewhere in the United States, but nowhere in Texas have I ever seen a start, especially not around here. I would have to drive up to, I mean, Alpine has a few starts, maybe Fort Stockton or Midland has some, but it was really important for me to save those plants, and I did. So we're doing well there, but I do need to get them in the ground. So that garden does need to be finished in the next few days, which I have confidence I can do so. I had really good momentum last week. I got those nine post holes dug, and the posts set, cut, and the posts were procured, cut, and set. Some of which needed to be cut down on my property within 2 days. So that felt really good. So half a day I'll get that fence up, and hopefully the next day work on getting those plant starts in. So I'm really excited for that.